travel with me.
Hey fellow humans, Mina here. That cringy first draft. The first of the first drafts. I mentioned in a somewhat way back video, I decided to share with y'all the very first draft of South Chapter 1. But do you remember that I said that South used to be a comic? I mean, there are many variations of it, when it was Silent Tears and then Shattered, which never had any written words to it, to the comic that came right before the novel. But did you know that the first 2 volumes of comic scripts that I actually wrote, which you can still technically read online because it's not really spoilers, actually had an even first draft than the first draft? Hi, Soren. Man, don't play with the tripod. She's playing with the tripod. That's okay. What do I mean by that? Before I even thought of having South turn into a novel, I started writing the comic script for South the comic, and it was bad. Like, the first draft of South the novel was bad, as can be seen in the cringy first draft video, but like, this first draft of the comic, before I decided to like totally change it and have it somewhat resemble an actual story, was super bad. I only wrote 4 chapters of this original extra cringy first draft. I would say I'm still in the noob stages of writing at this point. You can read these 4 chapters online in the scraps section of my DeviantArt page. But whoo boy, if y'all thought chapter 1 first draft was cringe, wait until you hear what I'm gonna share today. That's right, I want to share the extra cringiest of cringe first drafts of South the comic. Why? Because I can. And tomorrow marks the 2-week anniversary that South the novel, the really good version, or at least definitely the way better version than this, has been published. Which makes me an actual published author now. That's hella dope. Don't worry, I'm not gonna read all 4 chapters of comic script, especially since it's a comic script, so it's like character dialogue and then description like looks left kind of thing, because it's a comic script, not an actual novel. So I'll kind of summarize the in-between the character dialogue. But trust me, the character dialogue in itself is bad. And also why I'm doing this is to show that yes, you can improve as a writer without help of editor. While I do recommend editors, it's nice to be able to learn how to self-edit because it helps save you money in the long run, really. That and it helps improve yourself as a writer. So let's get to it. We're bringing along the handy dandy laptop once again. And just as a preface, I'm starting with the chapter 2 of this whole comic script thing because chapter 1 is essentially the same as the cringe first draft of South the comic and also South the novel, so y'all already know it basically, and there's no point in going over it again. But if you need a little quick refresher, AJ is at an airport, she arrives in Canada, she bumps into Minami, and Minami overshares every single thing about her life detail, and then the chapter essentially ends. Kind of boring, actually. So essentially, chapter 2 opens up with some random ass students giving some random air dialogue as Minami explores the school, which at the time of this writing was called School of Dreams. Because that's how real universities and colleges are called. Actually, it was a nickname. It was originally International School of Arts, IAU, which is also, well, it's better than School of Dreams, but like, Macmillan School of Arts sounds more like an actual school. Also, it's kind of named after, fun fact, the art school that I went to. It's not the same name, but it's kind of along the same area where my school was NBCC, but like the side campus where all the art students were was St. Mike's, so Macmillan's Mike's is just kind of inspired by that. Moving on, here are some cringe dialogues that the random students are saying as Minami walks through the school. Wow, my last year at this school. I can't wait till the year-end performance. Student 4. Too bad your face isn't gonna be the one televised. The students in the vocal program get all the fame. Student 3. Yeah, they think they own the school. Okay, so far, not bad, but wait, it gets worse. She's still walking around the school because this is how we establish setting apparently. She walks around the school and random people exposit info dumps. Writing. Student 5. Dude, did you hear? I just found on the orientation package that second year students get a chance to have a summer school exchange at our sister school in China. Wow, that was a big sentence. Student 6. Dude, for real? We have a sister school in China? P.S. There's no sister school in China in McMillan's. Student 7. Screw that. Says here in the orientation package they encourage us to attend other programs during our studio time so that we can learn, work together and stuff. Dude, I don't want to do that. Bad enough I got to be with you guys. Student 5. You're such a dick sometimes. Why do all these characters talk the same? Okay, but here's where we get into the really big cringe. Minami, still exploring, walks into the large auditorium of, the art school. And she's all like, wow, it's so big. She wouldn't do that, but like, it's so big. And she's just like, hello, is anybody here? And obviously it's empty, so no one answers her. So she starts singing on the stage, imagining a big crowd before her as she performs. Just as a side note, Minami in South the novel wouldn't do this, even if the room was alone. Well, I mean, if she thought she was alone, but just as a side note, she is very embarrassed to sing in front of people, and so she just wouldn't imagine a crowd. She might sing if she thought she was alone, but she wouldn't imagine a crowd because she ain't about that. So she's singing a song that's in Korean that I had translated into English by Google, I guess. I don't know, I can't remember. This was a really long time ago. And this is where we first meet Mark. He's in South, by the way. And he's all like, dude, that's beautiful. You got talent. At this point in the book, by the way, this is only chapter 2, but everyone is running around saying how talented everyone is. And it's like very boring and very cringe, and it just doesn't happen in real life. But here's the cringiest line. Minami's like, oh shit, I've been caught. And Mark sees her, that she's Japanese, and he says, oh, do you speak English? All in capitals, by the way, because, that's how we roll. And then Minami's all like, haha, yes, I speak English. Also, why do people yell at you when you think you don't speak the same language? We're not deaf, I mean, she's not wrong, but like, I have not once seen this in real life. Even here in Korea, where I don't speak like fluent Korean, and if Koreans ask me if I speak Korean, they're not like yelling, do you speak Korean? They're just like saying it in a normal voice because that's how humans react. I think this kind of thing only happens in movies, and even then it's rare. I've rarely seen it, but like, it's like super stereotypical and kind of racist, to be honest. So, yikes. And then Mark's all like, my bad, force of habit, you got quite the voice. Looks like I got some competition for that year in performance. I mean, almost like, what? Year in performance? What you talking about? And he's like, you're in the vocal program, aren't you? I mean, with a powerful voice like that, no. Would assume, Mark. And she's like, haha, no, I'm in animation. I want to someday do a comic on my family's history. Mark, no shit, really? Animation, eh? Guess I'm lucky not to have you as my competition after all. You had me worried there for a minute. He's also not really Mark's character. And Minami's all like, I'm not that good, but thank you for the compliment. I just sing for fun. Which she does, but like, if this happened, if she was caught singing by Mark or literally anyone in South, she would pretend that it never happened and hope to God that the conversation about her singing is never brought up again. Then just some boring stuff of what language were you singing in? And he assumes that because she was singing in Korean, she's Korean. She's like, no, I'm Japanese. And I talk about like time zones and stuff. And then he leaves, and then that's it. That was the spark in their meet cute, I guess. Oh, I forgot. Before we end this, I just gotta mention one more cringe. The next scene is with Mark meeting Derek, and he's telling essentially Derek that he met Minami, and that there's a cringy line, a really cringy line where he was like, she had a tad messed up face, and then Derek's like, what? And then Mark's like, think she got that in a ninja fight, which is like super racist because like she's got that scar and she's Japanese. And Derek's like, that's not really a good line. But anyway, during our little conversation, I just wanted to mention Derek. I wanted him to sound all like proper, but in the end, making him sound proper, I ended up making him sound like a Victorian butler. So it's really bad. So like, here's a sample sentence. Beautiful, yet has a face that is messed up. Clearly looks do not matter for you. A fine quality you have. And then he's got other stuff where he's talking like, that AJ, she's absolutely amazing. Her lyrical proficiency and skill with their instrument are sublime. That's totally how a teenage boy would talk. But yeah, that's a little bit of cringe for you today, because I just wanted to show you that no writing starts off great. Especially your way back first drafts of anything. If you want to actually read some good writing, South, the novel version, not that shitty ass comic version I was just reading, is out now. Y'all can buy that LGBT plus bad boy today. Links to all major stores that you could possibly want to buy from are down in the description below. So do yourself a favor and check it out today. And if you do, please leave a review. It doesn't have to be long. It could just be a line or two, but it helps out, you know? I mean, once you've actually read the book, because if you don't own it and you're just buying it now, you're obviously not going to get it unless you get it on a Kindle or like an ebook, because then you get it instantaneously. It doesn't have to ship, and you know what I mean. Anywho, that's all I gotta say for now. If you want to keep hearing more about South, be sure to follow me in all your favorite socials. The links below. Stay safe and take care. Bye. Ready?